I thought tonight defensively, it's about as well as we can play. Did a lot of things well. Locked into their key personnel. Did some aggressive things in both halves. One was full court pressure in the second half. And then we did a little trapping in the first half. Our rotations were better. Our being up in the passing lane. I mean, we had 3 steals in the last game, and that's unacceptable. Tonight we had 10. And we had 10, and we had a lot more deflections. You've got to create some offense with your defense, and when our offense is struggling a little bit, which it still is. Okay, we had 22 turnovers, still a little bit unsure, still not executing to perfection, but did some things in both halves that were a little bit different than what we run in terms of motion, so that was good to see. They ran that properly, executed on our out-of-bounds plays, and got some productivity from a lot of different people, not the least of which was Jordan Sturmer, who was spectacular. I felt after the last game, we only played 8, and we had a little bit of fatigue there without Matt. I wanted to make sure I got Sturmer and Archie in to make sure we had a fresh team, and I think you saw the effect defensively in the second half in particular. So, very pleased.
How did you guys end up finding Jordan, or did he find you?
He obviously graduated from Kirkwood and wanted to come to Iowa as an engineering student. He's very bright, always wanted to be a Hawk, and I think it kind of decided pretty much on his own. I knew who he was. I knew he was interested. At some point, he was contacted by some other institutions. I think he had some low-level offers. He had some other people who were asking him to walk on. So at that point in time, I spoke to him about, making sure he knew that I wanted him on our team.
Coach, what's it been like for you to kind of get the fast break going? It looked like you were rather frustrated, especially in the first half, trying to get them to run, and they seemed to do a better job in the second half.
You know what? I was more frustrated with our execution at half court. And we made some poor decisions on the break. We had some traveling violations again, a little bit of indecision, but we are not executing our half court offense the way that it needs to be executed. And that's where the frustration came in. Because, now granted, we haven't had a lot of times since the last game one day, but we did focus on some of those areas yesterday, so that was a little bit disappointing that we didn't do a better job. But again, I think anytime, I'm frustrated with our execution, I was not frustrated with our effort. And I think as a coach, if you feel like your team is battling, then, I can be frustrated with our execution. We can take care of that. If they're not battling, then we got a major problem. But they battle for me. They battle for me in both games.
Is it a situation where they're still having to think their way through that?
Yeah, they're still thinking.
They're not reacting, they're just thinking?
Not reacting, kind of running set patterns, with no flexibility at all. Even if you run a set, where's the defense? Are they overplaying here? Are they overplaying there? What are our looks? Sets have a lot of options, have a lot of looks. We're kind of zeroing into one area. A little bit of a bump, a little bit of a deviation defensively, and we just get right out of it. We don't finish it. And the only thing that's going to take care of that is a little bit of time.
Looked like maybe about 5 minutes into the second half, the offense and defense became more fluid, mostly moving at the rate you probably would prefer.
Well, that and we got some easy baskets. We got some baskets as a result of our defense. We hit some shots. And again, you look around, we had one guy in doubles, and have a 28-point win. So everybody was getting into the flow. I thought we shared the basketball, 17 assists. And we probably should be a little higher than that. But 17 on 28 is not bad. The 22 number's got to come down. It's tough to win with 22 turns.
You go into a pretty big challenge. You got 3 games in 4 days coming at the end of this week against pretty good competition. I mean, would you rather have a week more practice, or it is what it is, and you'll get better through games?
I think at some level you're going to get better playing ball games. I think our players are excited about the challenge. They know what we're walking into. Some really good competition down there. We'll have a day of practice, we'll have some walkthroughs. Another reason why I thought it was important to extend our bench and get Archie and Sturmer some minutes and get them comfortable, because I think we're going to need 10 if we're going to play 3 games in 4 days.
What are
Hoping to get
Matt's
Matt
chances?
back there.
Pardon me?
Same question as him. Gayton's availability for the weekend?
I think a good possibility. You know, 2 days ago, he was really frustrated. He wasn't making the progress he thought he was going to make. And then in 2 days, he feels a lot better. I think it's hard for him to sit and watch. He's anxious to get back out there. So he's got a little more range of motion now and a little bit less discomfort. I think we've got to get something on there and see what he can do. But again, I don't make that decision.
Coach, how important is it for you guys that you don't go down to Virgin Islands 0-2?
You know, what I'm trying to do right now is to bring our basketball team along so we can maximize the talent that we have and play to the best of our ability. Do I want to be 1-1? No, I want to be 2-0. Certainly don't want to be 0-2. But I don't know if that would have had a dramatic impact. We'll go down there and be hungry, playing, you know, what has been traditionally one of the best teams in the country, Xavier. Will challenge us in every way, with their speed, with their guard play, the 7-foot center, and you know, it's a team that sort of knows and understands how to win. And we've got Alabama or Seton Hall, so 2 very good teams again. So I'm looking forward to seeing what our guys can do, and I think we'll play better than we've played.
Looked like you guys were really going hard after loose balls and playing tough. Did you bring that up to your attention over the last
I think
couple
so,
weeks?
but I also think it's a function of the fact that we just lost a game. If we just lost a game, then we had a chance to win. You know, the game was in the balance down the stretch. Maybe if we'd have gotten a few extra loose balls or, you know, recovered on a broken play, and we win the game. So I thought their attention to detail at the defensive end, that you can control. You know, offensively you can control not playing nuts, but at the same time you're going to miss shots sometimes. We had a lineup out there at one point in time in the first half. I thought we got some pretty good looks at it, couldn't get it in. But our defense is what won the game for us, and that's what has to happen in those situations.
Do you have to catch yourself taking a deep breath and slowing yourself down, because maybe your expectations, you're thinking that you're good teams and you're starting over? And
I think there's no question about that, and we talked about that as a staff for a long time after the game the other night. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it on the bench. You know, a little bit of patience, a little bit more patience, because I want us to be further along. I expect us to be further along. We're just not. And the only thing that's going to take care of that is practice and games, and you know, practice to a certain point, but when it's all said and done, you have to be able to execute in games. When defenders are out there, when there's crowd in the building, the officials are blowing the whistle, that's when you have to be able to execute.
Is Cully okay? He seemed like he was a little dinged up when he came out.
He's got, you know, a few nicks and bruises, nothing he can't handle. I just didn't see the need to have to put him back in. Plus, I wanted to give Bryce some minutes. The way the game went in the first half, Bryce didn't get as many opportunities as I would have liked. He only played 4 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.